Welcome back to JB Reviews. I have a high country here, and this truck actually has the optional BFGoodrich tires. Now, I've only seen 2 trucks with these tires, and I'm willing to bet you a lot of people don't know this option actually exists. Special shout out to Jerry Seiner here in Salt Lake City. If you are in the market, this truck is available for sale. Be sure to reach out to either Keith or the sales team. Let's go ahead and check out the window sticker so you guys can see the option and all the other features on this truck. At the very top are the specs for this build, and be sure to pause it for the standard equipment. Base price comes in at $73,200, and here are all the options that were included on this build. Now the tires are right here, so BFGoodrich off-road tires are only $295, and here's a few of the things. And total price with destination at $1995 is $89,980. Do you guys see anything missing? No clearance lights. That is like a out west thing, because when I lived in Maryland, it was very rare to see a single rear wheel truck without clearance lights. But when I was in Montana, North Dakota, Idaho, it was not abnormal to see HD trucks without clearance lights. They come standard on dualies, but nevertheless, I'm off my soapbox now. You do get the premium grille with the high country, forward facing camera, painted bumpers, and then check out the trim down below here. It's like a polished look which matches the grille. Full LED headlights and fog lights, parking sensors, tow hooks are right there. You can see that camera just a little bit better. You have that functional hood scoop too for that diesel. And here are the new 20-inch wheels for the high country. I was hoping they would do the blackout for this wheel, but it did not make the cut. But they do still look great. And here are the BFGoodrich tires. So the only negative thing about these is it still has the same 275/65/20. So this is basically like a 34-inch tire. And it's made in the USA. Here are the capacities for it right here. 3,750 pounds per at 80 psi, and if you want the kilograms, it's 1,700 kilograms. So really quickly, I want to show you guys a comparison with my truck. I had to get an oil change today, so I drove it. But these are the Goodyear Wrangler Trail Runners, and the BFGoodrich tires definitely have a nicer aggression compared to the Wranglers. And these are the KO3s too. I've only driven on the KO2, so we're going to definitely drive this truck today. But let's go ahead and continue the walk around and we'll go ahead and drive it. Now when you do go high country, this is kind of like their cowboy truck, so you do get a lot more chrome than you would like. However, there is a midnight edition available, but it's only available in black paint, which is why I didn't get it. And you have that badge, chrome around the mirrors. Here's a few more badges too, but if you get a blackout, those stay the same. And then here's that premium trim piece for the high country down below, and then a little bit more chrome around the windows. Smart key system only for the front doors. And here's the rear. They do have class leading standard bed size, 36-gallon fuel tank, and you have a 7-gallon DEF. And then of course you have the steps. And here's your suspension. They do provide that wheel liner too. I still think that GM has the best suspension. The 2 overloads and the 5-liter main pack, their trucks do ride pretty darn good with this suspension. And hey, if you're towing pretty heavy, you can carry a good bit with this. Retro shocks there too. And out back, you have the steps. And interesting enough, this truck does not have the full LED tail lights. However, mine does. You see that? Interesting, I never noticed that until just now. I guess there's a package that is missing. Hold on one second. The only difference I see is the tailgate. So I did not get the multi-flex tailgate, and I have the full LED taillights. Now don't get me wrong, these are only using incandescent bulbs for the reverse lights. Mine are going to be LED, but that is actually surprising. Class 5 receiving hitch. And yes, the flex tailgate does give you an additional function. However, with my tailgate, you can put it down with power and put it up with power. With this one, you can only drop it down, but you have to come out and put it back up. Here's that 400 watts of power. You have that spray in with the 5th wheel prep package, 2 camera views up top, one for the bed, one for the rear view mirror. And here are your pins for your trailer. Oh yeah, by the way, they stamp High Country in the front of the bed. Now, I should look just to make sure. Yeah, you can get a quicker sound system and lighting built into this too, but it is an option. I don't know if I mentioned, but parking sensors down below. Let's go ahead and drive this truck really quickly. We're behind the wheel in this 2024 Chevy Silverado High Country, and as you guys saw, this truck had the Duramax diesel. So one thing that I've mentioned in the past is this engine performs extremely well despite it being down on horsepower and torque compared to the new PowerStroke. This has 470 horsepower, 975 pound-feet of torque, and it gets up and goes. Like, it just drops down a gear and it's a rocket ship. And the 10-speed transmission is very, very forgiving. Like, for an HD truck, like, I've owned a Ram 3500 and this transmission is so forgiving. And as I've said, when you need to go, I mean, this truck just has a lot of power. And you know, when you have a High Country, you have just about every bell and whistle you could ever want. The interior is pretty much premium. When you look at the door, when you look at the dash, it's just a lot nicer compared to what it replaced for 2023. Large screen, so you have a 12.3-inch display for the gauge cluster here, and then you have a 13.4-inch display for your main screen, and it's pretty much customizable. I mean, you can take things out of it. You have split screen, you can do full screen for navigation. It's just really done well. And this truck has all the heated and ventilated seats, dual climate control, everything that you would expect nearly $90,000 truck to have. This truck has it. But one thing that GM does lack is when you get these higher trim levels, I feel as though it's not too far off from like an LT, because you can get an LT pretty jazzed up. Now, you're not going to get like that pretty wood trim piece on the passenger side. You're not going to get the premium seating that you have in this truck, but it's not too far off. Like, I feel as though this truck is all the money at, you know, $90,000. Like, I wouldn't pay any more than this, because even GMC gives you a premium interior at the Denali Ultimate. So I couldn't tell you whether this truck had the Goodyear Wrangler tires or if it had these BFGoodrich. They drive extremely well, guys. I honestly would probably buy these if I get another Chevy truck in the future, or GMC. I don't know if GMC has these tire options. I don't know if they have them, but Chevy does. I would definitely choose these. I feel as though these tires might be a better quality, because some people have mentioned, and I've actually noticed it, the Goodyear tires sometimes will start to bulge on the sidewalls, and I've had a lot of friends that had, you know, KO2s in the past from BFGoodrich, and it seems like they might possibly have a better tire because you have to pay an extra $295 to upgrade them. Now, I am going to show you guys the towing capacity on the door. The good news about these tires is it does not change the towing capacity for conventional. If you get the 18-inch wheels with the hand coupe tires, those tires will actually lower your conventional towing rating. So you don't want to get those hand coupes if you need to tow more than 12,000 pounds, because yes, it drops it down to 12,000. That is pretty low. So in that case, I would probably stick around with the Michelin tires on the 18s. But yeah, these definitely do have a stiffer sidewall. I can tell it's a little bit stiffer. Now, it's not uncomfortable or anything like that. It's just, I can tell it's a little stiffer. But I'm going to show you guys some performance here. Just a quick acceleration test, and then we'll pretty much be back at the dealership. So if you're just cruising on the highway and you need to get over like I need to right now, I mean, that is pretty impressive, guys. Really nice truck. And if you're in the market, this truck is available, and I definitely recommend it. So let's go ahead and take a look at that payload. So here are the numbers on the door. The gross axle weight rating up front is going to be 5,600 pounds. The rear is 7,250. This truck does have a gross vehicle weight rating of 12.1, and notice the wheel size 20 by 8.5. All in payload is 3,650 pounds. And look at your conventional towing, 20,000, and then Gooseneck is 21.6. So your BFGoodrich tires do not affect your towing capacity, as I said. But this truck is pretty heavy on the curb, 8,450 pounds. And then here's the tire PSI for the truck. Lastly, this truck can be used to haul a truck bed camper, so it's rated for 2,900 pounds, so that's pretty dang good. Now keep in mind, obviously, depending on how heavy your passengers are and how many you're carrying, that may limit that number, so just keep that in the back of your mind. But that will pretty much end the video. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like the video, leave a comment down below. See you soon.